cardiac surgeon warns, this sleep habit is damaging your heart after 60. If you make just one of these critical mistakes tonight, your heart may not survive until the delicate light of morning. This isn't mere hyperbole or an attempt at sensationalism. It is a grave reality born from decades of medical observation and countless tragic cases. The stark truth is that an alarming number of individuals, particularly those in their golden years, inadvertently make at least 3 of these silent errors every single night without the slightest awareness of the profound risk they are undertaking. While I understand this declaration sounds overtly dramatic, I implore you to stay with me for a few crucial moments, because the insights I'm about to share possess the genuine potential to quite literally save your life. Tonight, my aim is to illuminate these insidious, silent mistakes that occur while your body rests in slumber, the very ones that typically don't provoke any pain, don't trigger any audible alarms, and devastatingly, don't often grant second chances. More importantly, I will not only unveil these hidden dangers, but also meticulously guide you on precisely how to rectify them, how to safeguard your most vital organ, long before your head even makes contact with the pillow. Allow me to commence with a deeply personal and poignant story, one that continues to weigh heavily on my professional conscience and memory. It involved a gentleman in his late 60s who entered my office for what he genuinely believed was nothing more than a routine, precautionary visit. By all outward appearances, he was a vibrant and active individual. He was still confidently driving, still engaged in part-time work, and he consistently described himself as doing pretty well for his age, a common sentiment among those determined to maintain their vitality. His blood pressure readings were slightly elevated, but certainly nothing immediately alarming or indicative of an acute crisis. His cholesterol levels were nudging the borderline, but seemed manageable with careful monitoring. However, when I posed the seemingly innocuous question about the quality of his sleep, he simply offered a dismissive shrug, uttering the all-too-familiar phrase, "Not great, but who does at my age?" That seemingly innocent sentence, that deeply ingrained mindset of resignation towards sleep quality, is in fact far more perilous than the vast majority of people ever come to realize. A mere 2 weeks following that seemingly routine consultation, his wife made the horrifying discovery. She found him unresponsive in their bed. There had been no prior warning signs, no excruciating chest pain, no desperate emergency call placed in the dead of night, just in profound, heartbreaking silence. When I subsequently conversed with her, she recounted a detail I have tragically heard far too many times throughout my career. He said he was just tired. We thought it was normal. Herein lies a fundamental truth that regrettably is rarely articulated with sufficient clarity or urgency. Your heart is emphatically not at its safest when you are deeply asleep. On the contrary, for a significant portion of individuals over the age of 55, the hours of darkness are precisely when the heart endures its most dangerous and relentless form of stress. This isn't the loud, overtly noticeable stress you might feel during strenuous physical exertion or during moments of intense emotional turmoil. Instead, it is a quiet, insidious kind of strain, one that stealthily accumulates, slowly building its destructive force while you remain completely unconscious. During these vulnerable nocturnal hours, your blood pressure naturally undergoes significant shifts. Your breathing patterns can become erratic or compromised. Oxygen levels often dip precariously, and what appear to be small, seemingly harmless daily habits can, when combined in the dark solitude of night, suddenly transform into life-threatening realities. I am Dr. Robert Harrison, and for well over 2 decades, my professional focus has been dedicated to meticulously studying the intricate processes that affect the heart during sleep. I have painstakingly reviewed thousands of complex medical cases involving nighttime cardiac events, the unsettling phenomenon of sudden death during sleep, and the myriad of heart rhythm disturbances that frequently manifest only after the clock strikes midnight. And what I can now declare to you with absolute unwavering certainty is this: the vast majority of these catastrophic events are far from random occurrences. They are, almost without exception, the direct consequence of preventable mistakes, critical errors that individuals are often entirely unaware they are even making. The first of these critical errors is incredibly pervasive, and alarmingly, almost everyone believes they are acting prudently by engaging in it. This first common mistake is the act of going to bed in a state of dehydration. Many people, and this tendency is particularly pronounced among older adults, deliberately restrict their fluid intake during the evening hours. Their reasoning is seemingly logical and feels eminently practical. They wish to avoid the inconvenience of waking up repeatedly during the night to use the bathroom. However, within the intricate confines of your body, a profoundly different and potentially dangerous cascade of events is simultaneously unfolding. When you are dehydrated, your blood becomes noticeably thicker, a physiological change that forces your heart to work substantially harder to propel it through your vast circulatory system. This increased viscosity is akin to trying to pump molasses instead of water, placing an undue and often unrecognized strain on an organ designed for efficient, smooth operation. The reduced fluidity significantly slows your entire circulation, compromising the vital delivery of oxygen and essential nutrients throughout your body, particularly to your own hardworking heart muscle. Simultaneously, the delicate balance of your blood pressure regulation can become profoundly unstable, making it more susceptible to dangerous fluctuations during the night. It is during the nocturnal period, most critically between approximately 2 a.m. and 6 a.m., that your heart rate naturally experiences a significant drop, and your blood pressure tends to fluctuate more dramatically. This perilous combination of thicker blood and sluggish circulation creates the precise conditions under which heart attacks and strokes are most alarmingly likely to occur. I have encountered numerous patients who, in their earnest but misguided efforts, informed me they consciously avoid water after their evening meal, under the mistaken belief that they are safeguarding their precious sleep. What they tragically failed to comprehend is that, through this very act, they may be inadvertently placing their heart at a substantially increased and often fatal risk. This is not to suggest that you should excessively chug large quantities of water directly before climbing into bed, as that would indeed counteract your goal of uninterrupted sleep. However, the complete and prolonged avoidance of all fluids for several hours leading up to bedtime constitutes a silent yet profoundly dangerous practice. A modest glass of water, perhaps half a cup, consumed approximately 30 to 60 minutes before you settle down for the night, can make an incredibly meaningful difference. This small but significant act helps to ensure your blood maintains a smooth and efficient flow throughout the most vulnerable hours of the night, reducing the dangerous thickening that can compromise cardiac function. But here is the absolutely crucial caveat. Adequate hydration alone will not suffice if you are simultaneously making the second pervasive mistake, which directly pertains to your preferred sleeping posture. The second critical mistake involves sleeping completely flat on your back, especially when your heart is no longer robust enough to handle the physiological demands this position imposes. Lying perfectly flat on your back often feels instinctively natural and undeniably comfortable for many. For countless years, a significant number of people have adopted this sleeping position without giving it a second thought. However, as we inevitably progress through the aging process, the heart's intrinsic ability to efficiently manage and redistribute fluid shifts within the body undergoes subtle yet significant changes. When you lie completely flat, gravitational forces cause fluid to redistribute and accumulate more readily towards your chest cavity. This increased fluid volume can exert additional pressure on your lungs, making it considerably harder for your heart to perform its essential pumping duties effectively. For individuals already contending with conditions such as high blood pressure, diagnosed heart failure, or even a mild, as yet undiagnosed heart weakness, this particular sleeping posture can transition from merely uncomfortable to genuinely dangerous. Allow me to pose an incredibly important question for your careful consideration. Have you ever experienced the disconcerting sensation of waking abruptly in the middle of the night, gasping for breath, or feeling an overwhelming urge to sit upright simply to breathe more comfortably? That sensation is not merely a manifestation of anxiety, nor is it simply an unavoidable symptom of advancing age. In many instances, that is your heart unmistakably signaling its struggle, laboring under the specific, challenging conditions of nighttime physiology. I once had a patient who consistently slept propped up with multiple pillows stacked precariously under her head. When I inquired about the reason for this unusual arrangement, she confessed she didn't genuinely know why, only stating that it was the only way she felt comfortable. Her body, with its innate wisdom, had instinctively figured out something profound that her conscious mind had not yet fully grasped. By elevating her upper body, she was unconsciously reducing the hydrostatic strain and pressure on her heart. She wasn't being particular or fussy, she was intelligently compensating for an underlying, unrecognized cardiac problem. A slight elevation, merely a few inches, perhaps achieved with a wedge pillow or by propping the head of the bed, can dramatically alleviate nighttime cardiac stress. You certainly do not need to attempt to sleep bolt upright in a chair, nor do you require expensive, specialized medical equipment. Even a gentle incline can profoundly assist your heart and lungs in working harmoniously and more efficiently together while you remain in the restorative state of sleep. Yet, even the most optimal sleeping posture may not adequately protect you if you are simultaneously making the third pervasive mistake, which stands out as one of the most consistently overlooked and, tragically, one of the most dangerous of all. The third critical mistake involves taking the wrong kind of helper before bed. Sleep aids are astonishingly common and widely accepted in our society. Over-the-counter products, readily available nighttime pain relievers, the seemingly benign supplement melatonin, and prescription sleep medications are all too often perceived as harmless remedies for restless nights. However, a significant number of these substances possess the capacity to interfere with natural breathing patterns, dangerously lower oxygen saturation levels, or critically disrupt the heart's delicate electrical rhythm, especially in the more vulnerable demographic of older adults. I have painstakingly reviewed countless tragic cases where an individual reportedly passed away peacefully in their sleep, only for deeper investigation to reveal that a seemingly innocuous nighttime medication played a pivotal, albeit silent, role in their demise. The most insidious aspect of these medications is their frequent failure to produce any obvious or alarming symptoms. You do not typically experience acute pain, nor do you wake up violently gasping for air. Instead, your heart rhythm simply becomes subtly unstable, or your oxygen levels incrementally drop just enough to inadvertently trigger a fatal cardiac event. Patients frequently assure me, "I only take it when I really need sleep," underestimating the risk. But sometimes, just once can be enough to set a tragic chain of events in motion. This inherent risk is further magnified, becoming even higher if you are prone to loud snoring, if you exhibit episodes of stopped breathing during sleep, a hallmark of sleep apnea, or if you consistently wake up feeling utterly unrefreshed and exhausted despite having apparently slept for many hours. This is precisely why it is of paramount importance to ask a very specific and pointed question when considering any nighttime medication or supplement. Not just is this safe for me in general, but is this truly safe for my heart specifically while I am asleep? If the answer you receive is anything less than unequivocally clear, or if your healthcare provider expresses any hesitation, that should immediately serve as a significant red flag, demanding further inquiry and caution. However, medication, while a critical consideration, is far from the only thing people dangerously overlook during their nocturnal hours. The fourth insidious mistake directly pertains to a collection of symptoms that many individuals have, over time, simply learned to ignore or rationalize away. The fourth critical mistake is the act of dismissing persistent nighttime symptoms that you have, through sheer endurance, grown accustomed to. Humans are remarkably adaptable creatures. We possess an incredible capacity to normalize discomfort, to mentally adjust to states that are far from ideal. We frequently tell ourselves that poor sleep quality, chronic snoring, episodes of night sweats, or consistently waking up feeling drained and utterly tired are simply an unavoidable, unchangeable part of the natural aging process. But your heart, a magnificent and tireless organ, does not possess the same capacity for adaptation or rationalization that your resilient mindset does. It will tolerate chronic stress and strain, silently enduring until it simply cannot any longer, reaching a sudden and critical breaking point. Loud, disruptive snoring, moments of gasping or choking during sleep, waking up with a racing, pounding heart, persistent morning headaches, or experiences of extreme, debilitating fatigue that linger throughout the day are not, I must emphasize, merely sleep issues. They are unambiguous and urgent signs of significant nighttime cardiac strain, clear indicators that your heart is being put under undue pressure while you are supposed to be resting. One of the most prevalent and dangerously underdiagnosed conditions directly related to these ignored symptoms is sleep apnea. Sleep apnea is a serious disorder that causes repeated, intermittent drops in blood oxygen levels throughout the night, forcing the heart to work exponentially harder under chronically low oxygen conditions. Over an extended period, this sustained and abnormal workload dramatically escalates the risk of heart attack, stroke, and, most chillingly, sudden death during sleep. What renders sleep apnea so particularly dangerous is the fact that a vast number of sufferers remain entirely unaware that they even have it. Frequently, it is their sleeping partner who first notices the loud, irregular snoring or the alarming pauses in breathing, but the person who is actually experiencing these episodes often has no conscious memory of them whatsoever. I once asked a patient why he had never once mentioned his persistent, disruptive snoring during his annual checkups. He simply chuckled and stated that his wife complained about it constantly, but he had genuinely believed it was harmless. It was decidedly not harmless. Once he received a proper diagnosis and commenced appropriate treatment, his previously erratic heart rhythm stabilized remarkably, and his long-lost energy levels returned, transforming his daily life. Ignoring these persistent nighttime symptoms does not make you resilient or tough. It in fact renders you incredibly vulnerable to serious and potentially irreversible cardiac damage. And all of these individual insights and warnings ultimately lead us towards the fifth and final mistake, the one that intricately ties everything else together and frequently determines whether the heart truly receives the profound and restorative rest it so desperately needs at night. But before we delve into that ultimate point, let me reiterate this clearly and unequivocally. None of these 5 mistakes inherently feel dangerous in the moment they are occurring. That is precisely what makes them so profoundly deadly. They do not typically cause acute pain. They do not often induce fear or panic. They simply, silently, and incrementally set the stage for a future catastrophe. And what happens next, the final and overarching mistake, is something almost everyone consistently underestimates, particularly in those quiet, introspective moments just before drifting off to sleep. Now we arrive at the final and perhaps most foundational mistake. In many profound ways, this is the one that ultimately decides whether all the other individual errors we've discussed become truly dangerous or remain relatively benign. Because even if you conscientiously hydrate your body properly, manage to sleep at the optimal angle to reduce cardiac strain, scrupulously avoid risky medications, and diligently learn to recognize and address critical warning signs, There remains one crucial, overarching factor that can quietly and completely undo all of that careful preparation. And it is something that the vast majority of people mistakenly believe is either completely normal or utterly unavoidable in the modern world. The fifth critical mistake is going to sleep with a heart that is already profoundly stressed. Most individuals instinctively perceive stress as an exclusively daytime problem. The relentless pressures of deadlines, the anxiety of bills, complex family issues, receipt of bad news, or heated arguments. However, what an alarmingly small number of people genuinely comprehend is that the precise emotional and mental state you carry into sleep fundamentally determines how your heart will function and behave for the ensuing 6 to 8 hours of the night. If you embark on your journey to bed feeling tense, consumed by anxiety, harboring anger, or with a mind that is mentally overstimulated and racing, your autonomic nervous system doesn't simply switch off the moment you close your eyes. On the contrary, detrimental stress hormones, such as cortisol and adrenaline, remain stubbornly elevated within your system. Your heart rate, rather than gently slowing down to its restorative baseline, stays persistently higher than it should. Your blood pressure, which is naturally designed to dip significantly during the night for optimal cardiovascular rest, fails to achieve this crucial reduction. Consequently, your heart never truly receives the profound restorative rest it so desperately requires to repair and regenerate. I have witnessed this distressing pattern manifest again and again in my practice. Patients who present with perfectly acceptable and reassuring test results during their daytime examinations frequently exhibit dangerous heart rhythm disturbances that materialize only under the cover of night. When we delve deeper into their cases, the common thread is not always directly linked to their diet or exercise habits. More often than not, it is the pervasive, unresolved stress that they unwittingly carry with them into their sleep. One patient eloquently articulated this struggle to me, saying, "Nighttime is when my thoughts get loud." And it was precisely during those hours of intense mental activity and rumination that her heart was subjected to its most severe and sustained strain. Your heart is exquisitely designed to slow its rhythm significantly at night. This is the crucial period when cellular repair mechanisms are activated, when the nervous system meticulously shifts into a vital recovery and regeneration mode. But it simply cannot perform these essential functions if your mind is incessantly replaying worries, if you are doom-scrolling through alarming news articles on your phone, or if you are lying rigidly in bed, tense and perpetually alert. From the uncompromising perspective of your heart, stress does not discriminate whether its source is a tangible physical threat or a purely mental one. The body's physiological reaction remains terrifyingly the same. This fundamental truth elucidates why heart attacks, strokes, and fatal arrhythmias are so alarmingly common during the fragile early morning hours. The heart has been forced to work tirelessly throughout the entire night without achieving genuine restorative rest. Eventually, under such sustained pressure, something inevitably gives way, and the profound tragedy in most cases is that individuals never once realize the direct life-or-death connection between the emotional and mental state they were experiencing before bed and the catastrophic event that unfolded silently while they slept. Now, here is the genuinely good news, and this is an exceptionally important point to grasp. This particular mistake, the one involving a stressed heart, is remarkably one of the easiest to rectify, and it does not necessitate complex medication regimens, expensive specialized equipment, or dramatic, disruptive lifestyle changes. It fundamentally requires a conscious decision, a decision to deliberately create a protective buffer zone between the demands of your day and the onset of your sleep. Think of it as granting your diligent heart explicit permission to stand down, to disengage from its daytime vigilance. A simple, well-structured wind-down routine, even one lasting a mere 20 minutes, possesses the transformative power to dramatically alter how your heart behaves overnight, profoundly influencing its recovery and resilience. During this crucial buffer period, consciously avoid arguments or emotionally charged, heavy conversations. Steer clear of doom scrolling through endless negative news feeds. Turn off television programs that stimulate and keep your mind overtly alert. Instead, gently dim the lights in your environment. Consciously slow and deepen your breathing. Sit quietly in contemplation, or simply allow your mind to wander calmly. Engage in gentle stretching exercises. If it aligns with your beliefs, pray or meditate. Or, quite simply, focus solely on breathing slowly and deeply, allowing your exhale to be longer than your inhale. When your breathing rate decelerates, your heart rate invariably follows suit. That is not mere philosophy. That is undeniable, observable physiology. I frequently advise my patients to imagine they are speaking directly to their heart before sleep, offering it reassuring words like, "You're safe now, you can finally rest." It may sound disarmingly simple, perhaps even a little silly, but the complex nervous system profoundly responds to these calming internal signals, not to strict logical reasoning. Calm, deliberate signals unfailingly produce calm, restorative, physiological responses. Now, let's zoom out and consider the much broader picture, because this is where all these interconnected elements converge into a cohesive understanding. None of the 5 pervasive mistakes we have meticulously discussed are inherently dramatic or overtly dangerous when viewed in isolation. That, ironically, is precisely what renders them so acutely perilous. They do not manifest as immediate emergencies. They feel, instead, like deeply ingrained, unremarkable habits. Skipping a glass of water in the evening, habitually sleeping flat on your back, relying on a pill to induce sleep, consistently ignoring persistent snoring, and carrying the accumulated weight of daily stress into your bed. Each individual action, quietly, incrementally, and insidiously, increases the cumulative nighttime cardiac strain. And when several of these detrimental habits occur in combination, night after night, year after year, the heart, an organ of incredible resilience, eventually reaches an unavoidable breaking point. The individuals who tragically suffer sudden, unforeseen cardiac events in their sleep are rarely reckless or irresponsible. They are typically not consciously ignoring glaring, obvious danger signs. More often than not, they are simply continuing to do what they have always done, following established routines. And that is precisely why heightened awareness matters so profoundly, because once you are consciously cognizant of the specific factors that place your heart at significant risk during sleep, you are empowered to implement small, seemingly minor changes that can yield disproportionately outsized and life-saving effects. So, let us translate these vital insights into practical action starting tonight. Before you settle into bed, commit to performing 5 simple yet profoundly impactful things. Firstly, drink a small, modest glass of water earlier in the evening, well before bedtime. Not so much that it disrupts your precious sleep with bathroom trips, but just enough to ensure the ongoing protection and smooth functioning of your circulation during those vulnerable nocturnal hours. Secondly, adjust your sleeping position so that your upper body is gently but discernibly elevated, especially if you have ever experienced the unsettling sensation of shortness of breath or discomfort during the night. Thirdly, take a moment of deliberate pause to critically question any medication or supplement you routinely use to assist with sleep, and candidly ask yourself, or preferably a knowledgeable medical professional, whether it is genuinely heart-safe for your specific cardiac profile while you are asleep. Fourthly, pay diligent and serious attention to any nighttime symptoms you have habitually dismissed or brushed off as merely normal signs of aging, and commit to taking them seriously, seeking medical advice where necessary. And finally, and perhaps most crucially, consciously give your precious heart the gift of a calm, quiet, and peaceful transition into sleep. These recommended measures are not extreme interventions. They are gentle, reasoned corrections designed to optimize your cardiac health. and they matter profoundly because sleep is not merely a passive period of rest. In a very real and physiological sense, sleep is a test. Every single night, your heart is tested under fluctuating conditions of potentially low oxygen, slower circulation, and shifting internal pressures. The overarching goal is unequivocally not to make that natural nightly test any harder than it intrinsically needs to be. I wish to share one final, deeply important thought with you, something I fervently wish more people understood much earlier in their lives. When something catastrophic goes wrong with the heart during sleep, there is rarely, if ever, a warning bell that tolls. There is no precious chance to push through the discomfort or to instinctively react. That is precisely why proactive prevention matters immeasurably more than reactive intervention. The heart, in its quiet, tireless work, does not announce when it has finally had enough. It simply, often without fanfare, stops. But the profoundly encouraging inverse is also true. When you consciously and consistently support your heart properly at night, providing it with the optimal conditions for rest and repair, it reciprocates by becoming significantly more resilient and robust during the demands of the day. Enhanced quality of sleep has been scientifically proven to improve blood pressure regulation, stabilize potentially erratic heart rhythms, reduce systemic inflammation throughout the body, and dramatically boost both your physical energy levels and your mental clarity. Nighttime cardiac care is not a distinct, separate facet of overall heart health. It is, in fact, the fundamental, indispensable foundation upon which robust cardiovascular well-being is built. So, here is my direct question for you, and I urge you to consider it with utmost sincerity and honesty. Which one of these crucial mistakes do you suspect you might have been making without fully realizing its potentially devastating implications? I am not asking which one scares you the most, but rather, which one sounds uncomfortably, regrettably familiar to your own nightly routine or experience. Take a quiet moment, be truly honest with yourself, and identify that habit. If this video has genuinely shifted your perspective and made you think differently about how you will approach sleep tonight, I implore you to do one more critically important thing. Share this vital information with someone you deeply care about, a beloved spouse, a dear sibling, a cherished friend. Because the most dangerous heart mistakes, the ones that have the power to prematurely end lives, do not happen publicly or with dramatic fanfare. They happen quietly, insidiously, in the dark solitude of night, while we are deeply asleep. And sometimes, just sometimes, a simple act of shared awareness is enough to save a life, to prevent a tragedy, and to ensure more peaceful, healthier mornings.